Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melissa Bro, and today I will be presenting my mini case study on the brand Superdry. Superdry is a British retail fashion brand known for its fusion of vintage Americana and contemporary Japanese graphics. Introduction and background. In the upcoming slides, I'm going to be presenting a brief snapshot of Superdry's circumstances from 2015. Understanding this context will provide valuable insights into the brand's evolution and the lessons that they learned from navigating some core challenges throughout the brand's journey. Brand identity and operational turmoil. The brand was officially co-founded by Julian Dunkerton and James Holder in 2003, but their roots date back to 1985 when Dunkerton founded Cult Clothing. Superdry rose to popularity among teens and young adults who resonated with their trendy designs and the attention to detail. However, like most big fashion retailers, despite their popularity and success, they had in their first 10 years, according to the case study, they actually saw a 34% decline in its stocks in 2014. Most likely, what led to part of their turmoil was the unexpected resignations of several of their top execs. Their CEO at the time, Ewan Sutherland, resigned, and the CFO, Sean Wills, actually stepped down after he filed for a personal bankruptcy. So it was at this time when Superdry's founder, Julian Dunkerton, took back the reins to stabilize the brand, regain customer trust, and reposition them for future growth in this competitive retail space. External influences on competition. So here there's some key factors that will directly impact Superdry's ability to attract customers, manage costs, and drive profitable growth over the next several years, which include market appeal and sales, costs and profitability, and operations and customer experience, all of which I will break down for you on the next slide. Factors affecting Superdry's future competitiveness are sociocultural and consumer trends, economic instability, and technology. Superdry's reliance on its distinctive style makes it vulnerable. When a younger, more youthful target market perceived a style as out or going out of style, they simply move on to the next big thing, which means sales will drop and the brand loses its appeal quickly, which directly impacts their competitiveness. The rise of cheaper competitors also forced Superdry, which is currently positioned as a higher-end, non-essential item, to justify its prices. This will affect the ability to compete on price and may force them to focus more heavily on perceived value rather than simply on style. Other brands like Abercrombie & Fitch, Uniqlo, and Zara also compete on style, price, and market share. Ted Baker, a British brand, is also a vulnerable competition from cheaper fast fashion and more established luxury brands. Economic industry, the rising costs shrink profit margins unless they can pass the cost on to the customers. So if they raise the prices, they risk losing customers. And when consumers face high inflation or economic uncertainty, they naturally cut back on non-essential items like new apparel. This would also release the overall market size for brands like Superdry. Currency fluctuations also directly affect the cost of goods, which is an unfavorable currency can actually shift international operations and make them less profitable. And following up with the e-commerce space, right now it's a battleground for retail. So if Superdry doesn't continually invest in new technology for its online platforms to improve the customer experience, they may lose consumers that way, and they may not have any brick and mortar stores anymore. Competitive advantage and the VRIO analysis. So next, we will use the VRIO analysis to assess Superdry's resources and capabilities to determine their competitive advantage moving forward. Assessing Superdry's capabilities using the VRIO analysis. Valuable, unique designs. Superdry is stylish, they are unique, they attract loyal customers and provide value. Does Superdry create value? Yes. Rare branding elements. They do use Japanese scripted logos that are currently rare in the industry, and that is what differentiates Superdry from competitors. So is Superdry rare? Yes. Easily imitated designs. Many of the design elements lack a patent protection, which makes them easy to replicate. So is Superdry easily imitated? Yes. Substitutable. Other brands offer similar urban streetwear with Japanese flair. So are they substitutable? Yes. So I would say, given this VRIO framework, it does suggest that a brand with this combination of resource characteristics does lead to a positive temporary competitive advantage at best, which would lead to a disadvantage over the long term. Assessment of current actions and what strategic actions can Superdry take and what the impacts would be. We will discuss a few of those on the next slide. Will current actions solve Superdry's problems? So they did appoint new professional CEO and CFO. They expanded to an older demographic. They had a partnership with an actor, the Idris Elba line, to expand to older folks. The pros of that: it's an internal focus. It does provide stability, managerial expertise, and a much needed financial operational oversight. They did retain loyal customers who are now aging into adulthood. So they do resonate with the older lines, if you would say. Some cons of this is they do risk some brand identity, potential brand alienation. Shifting the focus to an older demographic could possibly risk losing that core youthful trend-setting market, the teens in their early 20s, and losing association with the cool urban streetwear could actually be fatal to the brand's credibility. Outlook and actions. They could address immediate internal issues. It does immediately address the management turmoil, but it does create a long-term external risk by potentially sacrificing their foundational youth appeal. Value creation for customers. Superdry's customer value proposition. They have engaging store designs. Superdry stores are designed to be engaging and personalized, that reflect their customer style and individuality. Their stores also include a theater and a personality concept. The concept of theaters and personality differentiates Superdry and reinforces their unique aesthetic. They have memorable customer experiences. They create the shopping experience, which actually builds the brand loyalty and attracts customers to their stores. Their brand value communication, they have visual appeal, the ambiance that communicates their values and enhances the market. Now, strategic recommendations for Superdry. Recommendations. Superdry could conduct a system audit to closely examine the supply chain and their internal control processes to fix or any of their issues that they may have overlooked during their rapid expansion. They could also refine with a grown-up strategy to continue to serve aging customers with less logoed lines while simultaneously reconnecting with their core youthful demographic. Or they could use a shrink to grow philosophy. This would be an alternative, which would be just to simplify and refocus. They could temporarily adopt this shrink to grow approach by focusing on fewer core products, and the goal would be to create a sense of scarcity and a desire to re-engage the teens and early 20s demographic to restore the brand's credibility. Where is Superdry today? So currently, Superdry has a new outlook and a new logo. The Superdry and Company brand mark, the SD & Co monogram, are part of the brand's relaunch and the new direction that the CEO and co-founder Julian Dunkerton is moving in, a more refined, preppy aesthetic. There is a short video on this slide that you can check out in your own time, and it just explains where he is moving, what direction they're moving to in the retail space. Questions for further reflection. So for my 2 questions, number 1, how can Superdry maintain its brand identity while adapting to changing consumer demographics and fashion trends? And number 2, do you think Superdry should prioritize the costly long-term process of investing in IP protection, such as patents and trademarks, to fix the competitive flaw, or should it adopt a shrink-to-grow philosophy to stabilize their operations and reestablish the brand's desirability through scarcity? And these are my references. That's all I have for you on Superdry. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Have a great day.